Hi, I'm Shaz, 23-year-old, freshly graduated from IIM Trichy, and this is me documenting my convocation. Our convocation was on 4th of April, but we reached the campus on the 2nd, not because we are punctual saints, but because we weren't ready to let go just yet. We wanted a little more time together, maybe the last time as a batch, on a campus that somehow stopped being a campus and started feeling like home. We had only been away for 15 days after exams, but walking back in felt strange, in a good way, like you never really left. Anyways, the next day after lunch, we had to assemble in the auditorium for the convocation briefing. Now, a briefing doesn't sound exciting, but put 300 students in one room after lunch, and suddenly it feels like a puzzle which can't be solved. We laughed, we pulled each other's leg, and for a moment, it felt like nothing had changed. Then we moved on for the mock batch photo shoot. Standing in that corridor, waiting for our turn, it hit me. It took us 2 whole years to get all of us in one frame. 2 years of chaos, deadlines, group projects, sleepless nights compressed into one picture. And of course, managing 400 students for a photo is less like a photo shoot and more like crowd control at a music festival. Even our professors, who have seen everything, had their work cut out. After the mock drill and rehearsals at the convocation venue, which happened post the photo shoot, we wrapped up the evening.
Gautam Bhaskar. His dissertation titled A Socio-Technical Exploration of the EV Integration and Low Carbon Transition in India. Yeah, and you will keep standing, right? Okay.
The weather that day felt unusually kind, almost like the campus itself knew what was coming and decided to behave for once. That night was the farewell dinner. The entire campus was lit up, and for a change, we were all well dressed, well fed, and surprisingly well behaved. Meeting everyone's families was interesting. It was like finally seeing the people behind the stories you have been hearing for the past 2 years. And honestly, I felt like thanking them for raising the absolute idiots who somehow became my support system here. And then came the big day, the convocation day. Walking out of the hostel that morning didn't feel normal. It felt like a festival. Everyone dressed up, cameras out, energy high, and somewhere beneath all that excitement, a quiet realization. This was the end. We reached the auditorium, collected our angvastras and cards, and instantly tried them on like kids with a new toy. No matter how old you get, some things don't change. The sun, on the other hand, decided to remind us we were still in Trichy, doing its absolute best to drain every drop of energy from us. But honestly, none of that mattered. That was our moment. Then came the time for the photo shoot, the actual photo shoot. All of us moving through that corridor in blue kurtas and saris, slowly, steadily, like a river flowing towards the ocean. Different journeys, different stories, but all arriving at the same destination. The group photo happened. The photo, the one that will outlive conversations, memories, and maybe even friendships, but will always hold a piece of all of us. And then finally, the ceremony. The stage was set, the professors seated, the energy building, like a quiet hum of an aircraft just before takeoff.
You are not a nation, and the battles ahead of you will not be won by firepower.
And then it began, and came the moment.
Mohammed Shah. Partner Vaishnavi Sandosh.
Degrees were handed out, names were called, smiles were exchanged, and before we could fully take it in, it was over. Just like that. No dramatic pause, no slow motion ending, just over. And then came the hardest part, the goodbyes. The kind you know are coming, but still aren't ready for. The kind where you say, we'll stay in touch, we'll plan trips, knowing very well that life has its own plans. People started leaving, one by one. Hugs got tighter, smiles got quieter. Among my friends, I was the last one to leave. I went back to my room, a small little world for the past 2 years. A room that had seen everything: stress, laughter, breakdowns, late night overthinking, and moments of absolute clarity. I looked around one last time, left a note for the next astronaut who would live in the spaceship for a while. All packed up. The room is totally empty and vacant. This is probably the last time I'm in this room, so a lot of memories I've made in this room. I've got praising staff and a lot of other memories. So, man, it's really. I know. There's a note that I wrote for one of my juniors. Whosoever comes here, I hope he gets best in life. And yup, so that's where our MBA journey comes to an end. I hope you like this series of MBA vlogs or whatever you want to say. And for the next chapter of my life, I cannot even speak. I would love to have you guys along with me. This is Shah's batch of 24-26. IIM Trichy. Cheers. And just like that, a chapter ended. No background music, no grand conclusion, just silence and a bag full of memories. And like a true Banjara, I am on to the next chapter. A little wiser, a little heavier, but carrying stories I'll probably tell for the rest of my life.